Andrew, why does this matter to you so much?
I'm not anti-vax. I'm double vaxxed with AstraZeneca, but I've looked at the evidence as it's come out around the side effects and harms, and I think the matters, actually now the evidence is overwhelming. You know, we've had almost 500,000 yellow card adverse events. That's more yellow card adverse events on mRNA vaccines than all the yellow card issues of the last 40 years. This is really significant. We've got unexplained excess death rates, cardiac arrests increasing in the under 40s, and no one seems to want to talk about it. What we do know as well is that we've not had normal scientific analysis of the efficacy and effectiveness of the vaccines, because that was banned when they came out. Anyone who questioned the efficacy or the safety was shut down. That's not the way science works, Lawrence. Science has to work by challenge.
What's turned it around for you? What's made you come over to this side of the conversation that, you know, I live on personally, but GB News doesn't represent, but that's my view. What's brought you around?
Well, it's not about politics. I'm considered this hard right-winger by most people in Parliament. But this issue, when you're talking about the health of the population, and when policy is now to extend these experimental vaccines to children of the age of 6 months, where all the evidence from America testing on under 5 show that 1 in 100 will be seriously hospitalised over this.
But that is disputed.
It's not about right or left. This is about right and wrong. And
I get it. No, sorry, I'm with you. It is about right or wrong. You should not be throwing jabs in 6-month-old children.
But no benefits for them whatsoever.
But what I want to do is make sure that the argument is solid as possible. That is disputed, that claim.
OK,
well, 1 in 100.
The esteemed cardiologist, Dr Aseem Malhotra, produced a paper which he presented in Parliament 3 months ago. It's been all around the world. It's had lots of coverage here and in the USA. There's been no scientific rebuttal of his claims that the vaccines are no longer effective. They're no longer necessary because the virus attenuated itself a year ago to become the Omicron variant, which is a bad cold for most people. You'd have to vaccinate 7,300 over to prevent 1 COVID death. Well, when you've got, by Pfizer's own figures, 1 in 800 severe adverse events, the harm you're doing by the vaccination is greater than the good. The risk-benefit, even for over 80s, is the wrong side of the equation. And for anyone under 40, countries like Denmark, a very sensible country, they've banned all vaccinations and boosters for anyone under 50. They've looked at the risk-benefit of the vaccine. We're not.
How deep do you think this rabbit hole goes? Well,
let's find out. But at the moment, the mainstream media won't even look into it.
So it is very difficult to talk about this issue. And for me, what that instills...
means we must talk about it.
...is that we've got to talk about
Absolutely.
it. And why are we so scared of it?
There's a lot of money involved in all of this, and there's a lot of political capital being invested by people in all of this. But at the end of the day, I think if anyone looks at the data, and we have any sort of investigation at all, it's clear that the rollout of these mRNA experimental vaccines should be suspended. And they're still on an emergency authorisation. I'm absolutely convinced the reason they're still on emergency authorisation, despite we've 3 years into this supposedly having known about COVID-19, is because if they were approved for general usage, the analysis that has to happen of adverse effects would mean they'd be shut down within a week.